Hello and welcome to another one of my videos. For those of you who also watch BYB, you would have noticed that over the past few videos I've left a few comments concerning the Royal Mint. Something popped up and I thought I can address that, and that's something I can make a video on. There was part of the rebuttal from the Royal Mint that said that buying in bulk is more expensive in coin dealing. And BYB said that he didn't understand it. He thought they were lying. But this isn't, I'm not having a dig at BYB, but this isn't true. And I thought I'd take this video to kind of talk to you why the reasons that is. Because it's quite an interesting topic and it's something that shocked me many years ago. They're not wrong. Doesn't justify the Mint's prices. I've actually watched a few of his past videos bashing the Mint. Maybe bashing is unfair, but critiquing the Mint. I'm right behind him. I don't really like his content. I've been very vocal about that in the past. However, I don't dislike BYB. I don't know the man. It's just not to my preference. But I can fully stand behind his content that is critiquing the Mint. I think that's fair comment. Now, let's call that bipartisan support. I think that's probably the best word for it. Now let's get into the video. Why can't you buy in bulk and get better prices coin dealing? I had it several years ago. I was talking to the director of a well-run, well-established bullion dealer. He phones me up after hours. I said to him I want a trade rate. And he essentially, he told me to F off. He said, you were buying it cheaper than I buy it. And I went, really? That can't be true. And he's like, yes, it's true. Basically, there's a duality in pricing. So if a member of the public comes in, they will buy at X price because they might sit on that coin. They probably won't sit on that coin, but they might sit on that coin for a bit longer. And because the margins are so thin, what happens is the coin will come in. They will pay less to the person coming in from public because they're taking that risk by holding it. But when someone comes in, they say, I want to fulfill an order of, say, 100 sovereigns. They probably won't have 100 sovereigns. So what happens is to get the coins in bulk. Now, 100 sovereigns at the moment is probably around the £38,000 mark, 39,000. I haven't checked the rate for today. But they're going to quote the client. And what's going to happen is they're going to see what they have in stock. They're going to go through their network. They're going to pick up their black book, whatever they have it. So I use WhatsApp, etc., social media. And they're going to say, I've got a client who wants 100 sovereigns. I've only got, say, 50 sovereigns. What can you do sovereigns at? And the price is going to get bid up. Some dealers, they might have sovereigns on the book for relatively cheap. They may have paid 5% under. They say, okay, I can fill the order for you for X price. But if they have to go to many people, there's going to be many different prices, and the price is going to get bid up if there's not enough coin supply. So what you find is you're buying in bulk, but because the supply is shallow, and it's very shallow on coins, the price gets bid up. So you're using a moving average, and the moving average tends to work upwards. So if you were to ask another dealer, like say you've got 50 of those coins, and you go to another dealer, and the dealer says, I've got 20, but I can get you another 30, but it's going to cost you more because I've got to pay the guy or pay the business to get them in, it pushes the price up. It's a U-curve in terms of buying in bulk. It's not like most businesses. So most businesses, you get something manufactured and you say, what if I have 100 units, I want another 100 units, can you knock the price down? They're going to say, well, actually, yes. If the rigging's already done in the manufacturing, it's not a problem. If the tooling's already done, it's not a problem. It's cheaper to produce more because of the fixed costs. The fixed costs will always be the same. It's just the marginal cost goes down because you're producing more. It's not the same in coin dealing, and it's hard to wrap your head around. Now, to go back to to the dealer who told me to F off. I did business with him. We did a lot of business over a very short amount of time, and then I got pretty sick, and I haven't dealt with him out of shame since. But that's a me problem rather than a him problem. So I flipped the question and I said, well, if I'm buying it cheaper than you, what are you buying? And he let out some real nuggets of information from that conversation on the phone. He said sometimes I get coins in and I just put it through to my dealers and the highest bidder gets it. It's not a problem. He's like, I'm not interested in holding all these coins. It's coins in and coins out. And that's how it has to be because the margins are so thin in that part of the market. Now, in terms of the Royal Mint, someone posed a question. Someone had a bit of a rant. I didn't take offense to it. He said, surely it's beneficial for dealers to kind of hoard this stock. And it just isn't. It really isn't. Because for 99% of dealers, if you can move the market up, which essentially, if you've got a shallow supply, for the more specialist coins, you can move that market. But here's the issue. So you've got to have very, 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 very deep pockets to move that market in the first place. You can artificially move it. Say, for example, this is a good example. The 2016 coin, 2016 Proof Sovereign. Now, the supply is very shallow. It's even more shallow going into PF69 and it's even more shallow going into PF70. Theoretically, you could buy up all the coins, you could sit on them and you benchmark the price. The price is that. I am not going below there. You've bought here, and you're making a fat wedge, right? Not really. You've got to have very, very deep pockets. And if you can't sell it, you're going to fall on your own knife. And no one would have any sympathy for you. As an entrepreneur, businessman, you take the risks and you take the rewards, but equally you take the losses. People don't really mention that side of it, but it's true. You can't really move that market unless you're huge. And you wouldn't want to, because it's going to take so much money to move that market in that one individual coin that you'll make more money by spreading your risks, and you will make more money by daily bread and butter trading. So if you put 200k away in one coin, say you bought the 1937s, you bought the halves, there's 5,000 coins. Say you're going to pay on average £1,000. I think it's 5,501 times £1,000. That's £5.5 million to move it. So if you move that from £1,000 to 1,200, that sounds like a lot of money, right? So 5,501, £1 million. How many people can afford to hold it and make 20%? Hold it that long and make 20%. You have to be an absolutely massive fish. And by the time you've got a stakeholder in the market, there's not enough stock left. It just doesn't really work that way for 99% of the market. Now, another point was raised that these players can move the market by having other dealers do their bidding, essentially, by driving the price up. Maybe there is an element of truth in that. I look at it as an order board. So I will look at loads of dealers, auction results, eBay, abroad sometimes, social media. And I'm just, in my head, I'm making an order board. It's like, and I'm pricing it around here. So to get the top prices, it doesn't work for most dealers. The market is so fluid, coins come and coins go. You cannot hold on to it long enough for most dealers. It's a very, very deep pocket game, and it's a cash flow game. Like, I'm holding on to, I've got 27 halves of the memorials. I'm thinking of just cashing them in, some of them in for a loss. I can't afford to hold them. Well, I can afford to hold them, but I'm losing out. All the time I hold it, I'm losing out on opportunities that I'm missing. Opportunity cost. So it's not really worth gaining a foothold. That is why you can't bulk buy, and that's why bulk buying, you can't really make a killing doing it. It's just easier to do the bread and butter trading and be done with it. So I know there's some sinister undertones where people think that there's these massive corporations and they're ripping off individuals, but it's not really like that for the majority of traders, unfortunately. I know people want to shout that, but it's not true.